Okay, for this project, we're going to be doing another pattern type project. I'm going to jump into Photopea right here, and I've created a 200 by 200 pixel tile. And what I'm going to do is show you how you can take a photographic element, like the one that you see here, and turn it into a repeating tile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this image or copy this image, and then paste it into my Photopea document, like so. I've pressed Control V in order to paste it, and I'm going to turn on my transform controls like so. Now you're going to see that one of the issues here is that to create a seamless tile is going to be sort of difficult. So I'm going to resize this so that it takes up roughly this amount of space. It actually doesn't really matter. You want to try to get it to be as consistent as possible, so you can see that this corner down here is a little bit dark, and so I'm happy with that. I'm going to commit that change. So this is 200 pixels. So now what I need to do is I need to turn off my transform controls. I'm going to create a new a new document. This one's going to be 400 by 400, so it's basically twice the width and twice the height. So if I click up here and I go 400, and I change this to 400 right here, and I hit create, that's going to give me a document that is twice the height and twice the width. So what I can do is I can take this image and I'm going to copy this entire layer. So I press Command A or Control A to select, or I could go to select and go to select all. And then I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, or I could go to Control C or Command C, depending upon what type of computer you're on, in order to copy everything that is in the selection. And so if I go copy right here, I can then come to my new project over here, the one that is twice the height, twice the width, and I can Control V or Edit and Paste that layer that I have selected. I'm going to use my move tool in order to position this in the top left corner like there. My smart guides will help me snap it there. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate this. So I can right click on this and go to duplicate layer like so. I'm going to slide it over here, only we'll see that there's a bit of a seam right there. That's pretty obvious. But what we can do is we can go to Edit, we can go to Transform, and we can go to Flip Horizontally. And so now the left edge is going to match up, and you can sort of see that there's something there, but it's a pretty good job of hiding, if you will. And so now what I can do is I can take this layer and I can duplicate it, and I can slide it on down here. And again, we're going to have that issue where we see the seam, but I can go and I can go Edit, I can go Transform, and I can go Flip Vertically. So now the bottom matches up, and it's sort of this seamless little thing going on. And then I'm going to duplicate this one more time, and I'm going to drag it over here, and I'm going to have to flip it one more time. This time I'm going to flip it horizontally. So go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontally. So now you have nothing here, and this edge is going to sort of duplicate this edge, and this edge is going to duplicate that edge. So the way that I'm going to do one additional step. And so I'm going to select all of these layers right here by clicking on the top one, holding Shift, and selecting this bottom layer, pressing Control A to select everything, and then Command or Control C to copy, and then I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to paste everything into this one layer. Now that didn't work, so I'm going to do it this way, where I go to Layer, and I'm going to go to New. I'm going to pause this and figure out how to do this on Photopea. Okay, here's what we're going to do. It's going to require a keyboard shortcut. So actually don't have to have anything selected, but I do want to be on the topmost layer, and I'm going to press Control Alt Shift. So 3 keys at the same time, plus the letter E. That's going to duplicate everything that's visible. Now there is a way to do that from the menu system. But that's not super important. The reason that I'm going to do that is because I'm now going to go ahead and use my patch tool, because although I did a pretty good job of collecting everything. I have these white things that are going to be a little bit obvious, so I'm just going to select them and then drag this into a different part of the picture. So I'm using my photo correction techniques that we've learned about previously just to sort of make it a little less obvious. Drag that over here. And then this one I also don't like. All right, so let me go ahead and make a selection there. And just drag that in here. Okay, so now I can press Control A to select everything. I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to go to Define New Pattern. And so now if I create one final new layer, or one final new image, this one's going to be, we're going to go Instagram size, so 1080 by 1080, like we've done in the past. And I click Create. See if my computer can keep up here. I'm asking a lot of it. And now I'm going to go to Effects. I'm going to go to Pattern Overlay, and I'm going to choose that new leafy pattern that I selected from before, and it will sort of seamlessly add in. So let me choose the pattern. Let me choose the one that I just defined as it loads. Here it is. And so now I get the pattern as I want it. And I can go ahead and I can play around with the scale. I can make it larger. I can make it smaller. And I think if I keep it at about 150, 140, somewhere in there, it's going to look pretty good. And if I have other elements as part of this, it will be a little less obvious where I stitched it. But this way I don't get any harsh lines. Okay, so that's the project. Make sure you save it as a PSD and as a JPEG. Hit OK and do your normal saving routine. That is it for today.